Hey guys, Tech Agent here. We are back with more vintage headphones. I've been doing this for probably last few months now, and I hope to continue this in the future as well. But today we have the first vintage AKG headphone. Yeah, AKG. Usually you see me biodynamics and stuff, but AKG this time it is the monitor 600 ohm K240. And as you can see, it says in big bold letters, made in Austria. Now, AKG is a company I don't hate. I hate one company the most, audio company in my life, is Harman. Harman is a total dickhead company. Harman is a company that buys other companies and totally fucks them up. That's what they do. Harman is known for being just cruel, they just destroy all companies. Our Harman bought JBL, and now JBL is making shit speakers and stuff. JBL went from making prestigious speakers. I mean, people respected JBL as a audiophile company, as a high-end company. Now they're not high-end. I don't consider JBL to be high-end at all. They make Bluetooth speakers and stuff, which is nothing compared to what they used to make. And AKG went from making some of the most innovative headphones like the K1000, like the Sextet, and more headphones from AKG, the K501, just various other the very famous K340 dynamic electrostatic. AKG went from making those headphones to giving us K702s, K7XXs, which I absolutely do not give one flying fuck about. They're nothing compared to the vintage headphones they used to make. So AKG went from making good headphones to making bad headphones. Although the K12 is good, I will never buy it because it's made in Slovakia and I don't care about it. So let's talk about the monitor 600 ohm. This headphone was launched back in the mid 80s. I don't have an exact date on it, but that's an approximate figure which I consider to be safe. It's mid 80s, going all the way up to the 2000s. Not exactly sure when it was discontinued in the 2000s, but going all the way up to 2000s. Very, very significant headphone in the studios, because this headphone used to be a very good value. Most headphones back in the day were expensive compared to what we have today. And usually AKG marketed this towards the professional line of buyers. So these were sold, mass sold in just to studios and stuff. So these are very, very very common studio headphone. Even if you go to some older studio recording studios and stuff, you'll see a K240 or maybe a Sextet, or even maybe sometimes you can also find K240 DF as well. These are also very common amongst audiometry people, because, or audiologists that is, because they're cheap again. And DD48As and stuff are very rare and very hard to find. So this is a very versatile headphone used among professionals for many decades. So it's a classic in terms of that. Has a lot of value to it in terms of history and stuff, and the things it was used for. Now the K240M is a monitor version of the K240, and this used to be alongside the Sextet 6 passive drivers. Also used to be alongside the K280, the K240 DF, and the K340. So that was like the AKG line back then. And the K240 is not only significant as being a K240, but also it was a basis for a lot of those other headphones that I talked about, having a similar design overall. So this is just a very tremendous headphone in terms of history and stuff. This is a 600 ohm voice coil. So this is very, very inefficient. This is one of the most inefficient headphones I currently have, alongside my DT100 400 ohm, which is very, very inefficient. I think the sensitivity on this guy is like 88 decibels per milliwatt, which is very insensitive. So you need a proper amplifier, a lot of current, a lot of voltage required to make this guy run, because AKGs are already very, hard to power. Plus, being a high voice coil means you need more voltage as well. So a lot of voltage and current required to make this thing run and stuff. I use this with my Vioelectric V200 at plus 6 dB that is third gain setting, and I was lingering my volume, the potentiometer at, I would say 50% and stuff, and sometimes with some classical songs I used to go over 80%. So they are inefficient, and first time I thought my V200 is, I can feel it stressing on the headphones, because my other headphones, even my T1, the V200 at the 6 dB, I absolutely do not need to go over like 10 steps. That's how loud it gets at that gain setting. So it's a very powerful amplifier. It's just that the K240 is very, very inefficient. Overall, first of all, one more thing. I got this yesterday, and this is not a review. Obviously, it's a history overview, and this was in very bad condition. It was all gunked up and stuff. So I put new ear pads. I had these are genuine AKG pads. I also put a yank-proof system, YPS 3.5 removable cable. So that makes my job a lot easier, and makes these headphones a lot more easy to handle, because the original cable was very bad. Also, one more thing, if you get these AKGs, be very careful with soldering these guys, because the conductors are very fragile. If you use a very sharp tool, like let's say my wire stripper has been used a lot, so it has lost its the bite. But if you have a very sharp one, there's a very easy chance to break these. So they are very fragile. They also have this very weird gel over the conductors, some sort of insulation gel. I'm not really sure, but very nasty. So be very careful when you're doing that. But it's easy to solder. It's not like my DT48As from 1939, which are like super hard to solder. They needed a really high thermal capacity iron to solder. These are very easy to solder, but just be careful with the wires, because they are a bit fragile and they're easy to break. But overall, these are the K240 600 ohm compared to the modern K240s. This is the K240 MK2. The monitor was succeeded by the K240 Studio, being same impedance 55 ohms, and the K240 MK2 is the latest iteration to the K240 lineup. But again, this is made in China, made in Austria. So I always prefer this. I like the K240s a lot. I'll give you guys my review in some months. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There's going to be another vintage headphone video coming in some weeks, so keep an eye out for that. And one more thing. When you get a K240 like this, the back panel, the foam, this will be all cracking and stuff, so you gotta replace this foam disc at the back. The guy who sent me this had replaced them, so I don't need to do that again. But again, if you get an older one, even the Sextet, the DF and stuff, you gotta replace this part, because this can flake and stuff. So just be careful with that. Otherwise, these drivers can last you a long time and shouldn't be a problem. There you go, K240M 600 ohm, made in Austria. Very nice AKG. I really like it. Keep an eye out for a review when I do that in some months. Take it easy, and obviously, like always, have a good one.